Direct and explicit vocabulary instruction is certainly the first principle that the research supports. It's particularly important when you're working with students who are learning new vocabulary that they have the opportunity to have the information explained to them directly, to have opportunities then to apply that information guided by their teachers, and then finally opportunities to apply it independently. Another principle that we want to make sure that we incorporate in our vocabulary instruction is multiple opportunities to learn the new word meanings or the vocabulary skills that we're teaching. In addition to these multiple encounters, we want to make sure that these multiple encounters are occurring in varied contexts. An example I can think of is a student, I asked him if he knew what desist meant. And he said, yeah, he said, my high school teacher says that, cease and desist. And I said to him, okay, what does it mean? He says, well, I think it means sit down, shut up, and pay attention. And finally, in addition to direct and explicit instruction, multiple opportunities in varied contexts, we want to make sure that the tasks that we give students to learn vocabulary with and vocabulary skills are very active and generative tasks, that they really have a chance to work with the information, that they're not just sitting there and receiving it as empty vessels, but they have a chance to work with it. And so ways that we can help students to work with this information include discussions, include writing activities, include graphic organizers when they're filling out the information. The key to it is to make sure that there are many right answers, that students know that there's no one way to respond in these tasks. And the research supports that as being a very effective way to teach vocabulary. When we think about why it's important for subject area teachers to provide explicit vocabulary instruction, it often helps to think about the kinds of vocabulary words that are out there. Researchers often distinguish between conversational vocabulary and academic vocabulary. Conversational vocabulary is oral vocabulary. It's the kinds of things that refer to concrete things out there that we discuss on an everyday basis. Academic vocabulary is written vocabulary. It's vocabulary that we learn through schooling, and it's the kind of thing that content area teachers have to teach when they teach their areas, and it tends to be more abstract than conversational vocabulary.